biggest winner of the show's got to be Bronson Reed with the upset of Roman Reigns, who takes a rare pinfall, very smartly so. I thought the booking was so solid here. And then they got two stories across, one that Roman lost and Bronson won. So he's got that. He's the tribal thief. Might as well just take his shoes again. I liked it when he's got the shoes around his neck. And then at the same time, they progressed this Bloodline storyline, the sixth inning of the Bloodline or whatever. So I thought those two in that one single match, when it comes to the booking, were both big winners because of you got two things going there that I think are very smart and set up things for down the line. Do you have any other winners for the night?
Winners, I would say, would go to Fanatics.
There you go.
For all of the money they made off those John Cena shirts, okay? They had a record-breaking merch day for those shirts. But in all seriousness, John Cena and AJ Styles, I mean, two guys that have had amazing careers, and just to think that AJ's retiring next year on the 10th anniversary of him joining WWE, I think that's fitting. A very nice 10-year run, Hall of Fame career. Obviously, John Cena still reminding us at the end of the road here how good he still is. And that match, for all of the spamming when it came to finishers, was actually a lovely, beautiful love letter to professional wrestling. If you love finishers, you love certain stars, and you love Michael Cole for 85% of the match, correctly calling the finishers for what they were, congratulations. Now, his one faux pas was the fact that when AJ hit a Scorpion Death Drop and you didn't shut out Sting, he is in your Hall of Fame, Michael.
Yes,
you can say the word Sting.
Yes.
It's okay.
Yes. He did tell us what his finishing maneuver was, and he wrestled that one match against Jerry Lawler. He said his finisher was the ankle lock.
Yes.
I popped at that one. That was good. He was thinking on his feet there. All right. Actually, before we get to the losers, I was thinking about this because AJ Styles has said he is also going to be done soon. They did this whole year-long thing with Cena, which was smartly so. He's one of their biggest stars of the last, 20 years. Would you want to see something like this for an AJ Styles, or would it be too repetitive to what they just did with Cena? Like, should he get a proper send-off? And what could that send-off be for AJ Styles?
I think he deserves it. I feel it because a lot of people have grown to appreciate AJ Styles. And I don't think he realizes how beloved he is. So I do think he does deserve a retirement tour. Should it be as big as John Cena's? No, because I don't want set dates. I don't want a countdown of I have 30 dates left. I want this to kind of be like a fun farewell. Let's just go with the flow. And if it ends in 2026 on that last month of the year, cool deal. So for me, I don't want it to be as elaborate, but I do want that same nod of respect and appreciation that you are seeing someone who is one of the greatest to ever do it bow out gracefully and give him his dream matches along the line. And please, pretty please redo Styles and Nakamura properly before they both go home.
It would be nice to see something because, he didn't come from there, and so that may be part of the problem. Obviously, he was in TNA forever. He went to New Japan. Once he kind of became the top guy in New Japan, which predated the Kenny Omega run, then WWE was finally interested in him, and they brought him and the Good Brothers over. I would like to see something, but it's just he's kind of she's always really been in the shadow of Cena when it comes to that like wrestling star. And the hardcore fans knew AJ Styles. They knew who he and Samoa Joe and Christopher Daniels were. But that WWE audience, they may have heard about him, but it wasn't until he showed up. And I remember I was at a house show in San Jose. It may have been his actual first WWE match. If it wasn't his first, it was definitely in like the top 2 or 3. I think it may have even been against The Miz. And it was incredible because from my memory, like the house show audience didn't really know him that well, but then when he came into the Royal Rumble, like it was very clear, like that audience knew who he was, and he got really celebrated. But being in Cena's shadow, you know what it kind of reminds me of is, remember when Paul Pierce was about to retire, and Draymond Green kind of was like giving him the business from the sideline. He's like, they don't love you like Kobe. And that's kind of the thing, right? Is AJ Styles is just in this shadow. So if he does do something, it's kind of also in the shadow of Cena's retirement, which they're just doing on a big level right now.
Yeah, but I do think that the appreciation for Styles, to make that wild comparison to Paul Pierce, I think it's a bit more equal. Like there is like an actual love and appreciation that I think even AJ doesn't fully realize until he really sees it from the people. Because I think he underrates his career a bit. Like, I did great stuff. I think that he's one of the best to ever do it. And I believe a lot of fans believe that too. And they want to go on the journey and appreciate it. If WWE doesn't overdo it, just let the guy go out there, wrestle, kick ass, and then retire in peace. I think that'll be the play.
He's great. He should be celebrated. And he won WWE titles. Like that's how highly they thought about him. So, all right, now let's go to the losers. Now, again, remember, this is a little bit in storyline. I'm not sure if I'm by the way, giant Jey Uso fan, right? Like I've been talking about this dude for years and years and years. I always thought the Usos were kind of underpushed, and then he gets to be in the bloodline, and Jey gets some focus, and he gets the match with Roman, and you kind of see like, oh, maybe he's going to be more than just the tag team brother. And then he wins the Royal Rumble earlier this year, and I'm just so into it. I'm at the second ever Netflix Raw, and just kid after kid after kid is yeeting all over the place and doing the yeets hand sign, and they're not necessarily on rhythm when the song plays, but just you could just tell that there was a moment, and it was really going to be about how he dealt with it, how he handled it, and how far they were going to go with him. And he does beat Gunther at WrestleMania to finally win that title. But I sort of sense like you can almost see it in the Unreal documentary, right? Where Triple H is like, brother, you got to get your wind up, man. Like you can't be tired by the time you get to the ring, and because you still have to wrestle the match. And then his promos did not hit it out of the park with me. You could tell there was a lot of overthinking in what he was going to say. And he's trying to do this like rhythm and rhyme to his stuff, which when he and Jimmy do it together, they're like on fire. But when he was doing it himself, he's like repeating stuff. You can tell he's like, what it reminded me of is like a rapper who's trying to freestyle, and they have like a word that they can't think of. So you can just kind of tell they said the thing that wasn't really the punchline that they wanted. That was Jey Uso's promos as a solo to me. So now we get this different version of Jey, and Roman is involved. And all of a sudden, to me, he's no accountability Jey Uso. He is complaining. He is making excuses. He's throwing his brother under the bus when all his brother does is support his selfish ass. So Jey Uso, my big loser of the week, not only does he spear Roman into the table to lose the match, when Roman's like, bro, I told you not to come out, he's like, nah, Roman's selfish. I'm out of here. Come on, dude. You got to take some responsibility for what you just did.
Listen, Jay's been on my list for a minute. Not going to lie to you. ever since he's lost this championship. He's been a big baby. He's been selfish. He's been gaslighting his big bro Jim, the disrespect. And then Roman tells your ass, what are you doing at the top of the hour? Nothing. And then you still come out here when I tell you not to. You go against my wishes. You cost me my match. And now I don't want to see you and your dry turkey for Thanksgiving. I will see you on Christmas with a lump of coal as your gift. So yeah, Jay's on my list too. He is a perennial disappointment for the last couple of months. You've lost matches on Monday Night Raw. Roman had to bail you out of trouble, and now this. So yeah, Jay, you are the biggest loser. Goodbye.
I want to see. They need to have a camera for the family Christmas, where Roman's giving out gifts and gives Jimmy like I don't know, something really cool for Jimmy to watch, or something expensive, and then Jay just gets like a OTC t-shirt or something. Like just so he gets so much more mad at Roman. That would be hilarious. All right, do you have any losers coming out of this show?
Besides Jay, who I just buried, let's see who else is a loser. Tiffany, she's a loser. She's a loser. A loser because her streak ended.
Yeah.
She's 17-1 now for the year.
They didn't even really make that big of a deal of that, from what I remember.
Yeah, they made a big deal about the streak being undefeated. Then you don't make a big deal of her losing her first match of the year, and losing the match really basically would have made her the crown jewel of 2025. So yeah, she's a loser in that regard. I think that it's been a rough stretch for Tiffany as of late. The matches haven't been as great. This was a decent outing for her tonight, but as I said before, Bianca Belair cannot come back fast enough to kind of salvage things, because I think that she needs her to really get back on track, and I need Bianca to get this championship.
Do you know the story of Ronnie Lott, former 49ers cornerback and then safety? He's playing a game in the playoffs, I think, and his hand gets caught up in somebody's face mask, and his finger gets dislocated. And so, they're basically telling him, like, dude, you have to have surgery on your hand. And if you have surgery on your hand to repair this finger, you're going to be out for a specific amount of time. And he's like, no, just cut off the tip of this finger. And they cut off his finger so that he could keep playing football. Like, I kind of want to cut off my finger and just give it to Bianca. Like, whatever the problem is with her hand or her finger, like, let's solve this, because she's been out for so long. And in one sense, I miss her. So when she does come back, it's going to be awesome, but they need her big time right now.
She is sorely missed. When I saw the finger, how bent it was, like in July, I said, oh no, she's not coming back anytime soon. Because I feel like OT, occupational therapy, she's got to get her grip back. She's got to get her strength back, the range of motion, all of that. So she really smashed that finger up good at WrestleMania. Freak accident. It's going to take some time to heal. If she went the surgical route, I think the wait might have been even longer. So I guess she's waiting for that bone to fully heal. The word is she's close, but at this point, we just better off and wait until the Royal Rumble, honestly, at this point, because there's nothing else to really do in the year 2025 here. Got the Royal Rumble in Saudi. That's going to be an event.
Yeah.
We're going to have 30 cat suits out there. So she'll be out there. And I think at that point, why not? Because we're basically at the end of this year and not much to do there to close out 2025.
I did have a moment when I started watching this show, and it was like Stephanie was in her normal clothes, Tiffany was in her normal clothes, and I was like, wow, like this is, Saudi Arabia is actually lightened up on the whole thing. And I was like, whoa, it's in Australia. That's why. I got confused for a second.
Listen, all this money they're making for WrestleMania, hey, you can at least give us arms heading into next year.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But so what's so weird about the finger thing, though, is I've actually dislocated my finger in a car accident, and I didn't even realize it. But it's crazy because I'm now holding up my pinky. It's not really straight anymore, but at the middle joint, it kind of went perpendicular on me, and they just kind of just moved it, popped it back in. And so it's just wild that some finger injuries like that, like my hand hurt for 2 or 3 weeks where, it was hard to type or whatever. But other than that, it was like fine. But then her thing is like taking forever. So it's just, unfortunate bad luck when it comes to stuff like that. The only other loser I have on this is PLEs, man. Like I'm trying to remember how much I liked SummerSlam, but I don't think I've really been super duper satisfied with the PLE in some time now. And I don't know if it is the actual product. I don't know if it is my expectation of the product. I don't know if it is, and there's a little bit of a bias because I was in Vegas WrestleMania weekend and I just got the ick from how WWE fans were acting and how WWE was so pompous about stuff. And so I don't know if it's that, but I don't think this has been a strong PLE year for them. And I hope that they pick it up because I think these shows need to be valuable. We need to remember these shows as like great. Like I can still remember that Backlash in Puerto Rico with Bad Bunny. Like that is something that I will never forget when it comes to a PLE because that thing outkicked the coverage of what I thought it was going to be. I mentioned the Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins Hell in a Cell match. Like that match is so memorable. I'm not sure what I'll remember from 2025 when it comes to the PLE stuff.
I think you're making a good point. I kind of called this at the top of the year that for as high as they are in WWE, I always felt at some point that balloon is going to let out all the air and we're going to come back down to earth. The booking, the creative has been very suspicious since WrestleMania, even before then with the Cena turn. In the beginning, it was a good idea, then it fell apart. And Paul Levesque, the book, all of it has not been great this year. And that's resulted in some pretty so-so PLEs. My favorite PLE of the year was Evolution. I thought that was a very good show. SummerSlam was solid. The show was good too. But for the rest of the year, I just felt like it's been a pretty year for WWE. I said at the top of the year that AEW would be on the ascent in terms of getting their stuff together creatively. That has come to pass. And with that, WWE takes a step back. There's an opportunity to kind of correct things heading into next year, but their bread and butter for the last 2 or so years were the PLEs, were the storytelling. That has taken a dip. And now I wonder to myself, are you writing for the fans or are you writing for WWE Unreal? Because you can't have both. Because now I'm wondering, is this for your reality show that you're writing or is it for us to enjoy? So they have to definitely fight these two competing ideas and find a sweet spot that gives the people what they want, because now you're asking us as fans to spend a lot of money in person and now you're asking us to spend a lot of money out of pocket for ESPN.
Yeah, if I go back, I think Elimination Chamber was my favorite PLE, but then I was also one of the few people who did not like Cena turning heel. And I just thought it was the wrong move. I thought it was reactiveness to Cody not wanting to join The Rock, in Cody, the real life Cody Rhodes saying, I don't know if I want to turn heel right now. And so the reaction was John Cena. And I was like, no, this is not the time to turn this dude heel. He's finally universally cheered by this fan base. And it's the wrong thing. And then we had to deal with the heel John Cena, which was a long several months for WWE TV. So like that was my favorite one, but then like it left a bad taste in my mouth with that angle. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm sure if we put all the matches from SummerSlam, you could probably make a pretty good, memorable card. But again, I'm just, because WrestleMania in LA, great. WrestleMania in Dallas, I remember that show being pretty good. Both nights of WrestleMania in Philadelphia were solid, but just this last year in Vegas, I thought both nights were lacking. So maybe it's really about WrestleMania for me.